He came and bowled in the 11th. By that time, Rituraj and Faf both supremely set, seeing it like a football perhaps, and kind of that's when the acceleration started, didn't it, Pommy? I mean, you and I were here, it was 80 odd in the, you've got 80 odd in the first 10 and you're looking at it and saying, all right, can they get to 200? The acceleration began then for the back 10 and they just didn't stop that.
Yeah, so in the beginning, they have to try and get some acceleration going just to get the innings started and to see kind of at what rate they can bat and how good the pitch is and how well it's playing. And once they are unscathed at about 9 and 10 overs, it ceases to be about, let's see what happens. It's all gone from there. There's absolutely no option from there because you have 10 wickets still and you have so many guys sitting in the dugout who can whack it. So there's no excuse for not taking down whoever comes on. And so he comes on and meets that. And Gaikwad tucks in, so does Faf. There was never going to be, he was either going to get a wicket or go out the ground like everybody else had done. Yeah. Unfortunately, this time around, it was going out the ground because they just kept going, Chennai, and didn't stop right till the end.
The Chennai Express, there you go, and that's why I was saying that, because that is the acceleration, that's the innings progression. You look at that, they've gone at 54 in the power play. That's a decent power play. Yes, you'll take that. Maybe just a little slower than from 7 to 10. But there you go. Afterburners on, kicking in good and proper. They've got 12 and a half from 11 to 15, and then 16 to 20, they're at over 15 and over. And that's the perfect roadmap for 220, isn't it, Joy?
Yeah, it's a perfect roadmap, and I love what they did. They had intent. So Moeen Ali didn't waste time. His job was to go and attack Sunil Narine. And there was not a shade of regret. He's hit a 4, he's hit a 6. He could easily take a single and put it on. No, he's a designated hitter. His job is to take risks. He'd keep trying to hit 4s and 6s until something happened. Look at what he's ended up with, a strike rate of above 200. Why? Because he's come out with intent. He's not there to make a 30 ball 45. He's out there to score whatever at 200 plus. Every ball goes. And you have to. And that's great intent from the entire batting lineup. And I love the way they played the game, because this Chennai, it's looking like they've had a booster shot. Somebody's given them a booster shot and they're suddenly sitting up and
they've all got vaccines because they probably they're about 45. That was the India philosophy. I'm joking. They're all above 18. That's what's allowed in India now. But
I'm only worried about when Shahid Afridi will get his vaccine. There you go. It's changing the subject again. In talking about this roadmap in terms of how they play, the game these days, I say these days, even the 2020 format has shifted. Think back to that India and England series, and you watch all those, both the teams, just the hitting they possess, and sometimes you get them a really good one and they can hit from ball 1 up, right up until the end of the 20th over, no problem. But sometimes what happens, as is the case here today, is you kind of feel your way and you have the intent you're supposed to have, but you get to a place where you've set up what you must do. And if you don't do it and you give yourself the opportunity to try and bat a team out of the game. And if you get yourself in that position, it is critical that you play that way. If you second guess yourself, if you half don't go and do. In watching there, I think it was between overs 17 and 19. I was sitting here and Sean Pollock was one of us, and I was thinking, well, I'm not so sure about what's going on here. Why is he blocking a few? Faf du Plessis. Because it was, you're 2 down. Why are you blocking it? There's absolutely no reason for you to be blocking it. You shouldn't be looking for 1. You should be looking for 6 and 4. If you can't, well, you can't. But you should be looking that way. And then he shifted gears again and went again. Thankfully, it was sort of 4 or 5 balls. But that's what it takes for the game to get out of your grasp, isn't it? 4 or 5 balls. You're looking back when they've chased later. If they've chased 200, you're going, there were those 5 balls. I could have used them better. And that's how close things can be. So important when you get into the position to make sure you're doing what's supposed to be done. Sometimes it won't come off and you won't end up with 220, you'll end up with 200, you'll end up with 190. But you have to go for it, because if you do, then you might win the game with only half the game done.